Hey, everybody. Just want to make a quick video to explain number 106 from the book. Um, let's see what we can do here. So, sorry, my pen's not working too great, and so this looks a little funky. But let me just explain what's going on here. So, number 106 has this polynomial here, and they want to know what we can divide by. And at first glance, it doesn't really seem to help at all. But what I was trying to what I want you guys to see is that this last number here, this plus 6 is actually the clue for what to divide by. Remember when we learned quadratics and we looked at the last number to look at the factors, the potential factors of the quadratic? This is really no different. Once again, we're going to look at this last number and see what we can divide by. Well, what are the factors of 6? Well, there's 1, 6, 2, and 3. So we don't know if it's plus or minus though, so it could be x plus 1, it could be x minus 1, it could be x plus 2, it could be x minus 2, it could be x plus 3, it could be x minus 3. So you see there's a whole bunch of different ones, plus 6, minus 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to we're going to use synthetic division. So we're going to take those numbers. So we have here 1 minus 1 minus 5 plus 3. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Plus 3 and plus 6. Let me get that a little better spaced. Okay. And so let's try x plus 1. So we're going to try this one right here. I can get an arrow. I was hoping for an arrow. I'm not going to get an arrow. Great. I don't want it to look like a minus. It's kind of an arrow. Yeah. All right. So that's that. So we're going to try x plus 1. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means our number that we put on the outside is actually -1. And that's something that a lot of students mess up, especially in the beginning. Because we're basically saying that x plus 1 equals 0. And so that means that x would have to be -1. And so we're going to assume that x would be -1. And we're basically going to divide by that to see what we get. So you start off by bringing down, let me actually move this a little bit. You start by bringing down that first number, which was 1. And then you multiply it by the number up top here. And so 1 times -1 is -1. So I'm going to put that number right here. And then you add them up. -1 plus -1 is -2. So we're going to have -2. -2 times -1. So now we're going to multiply again by that number. -2 times -1 is +2. So that's a 2. Then we add that up and we get -5 plus 2 is -3. And -3 times -1 is +3. So that's going to give us a 3 here. And then once again, we add them up, and 3 plus 3 is 6. And then we multiply by -1, and we get -1 times -1. -1 times 6 is -6. And -6 plus 6 plus -6 is 0. So that gives me a 0. And that's good. Remainder of 0 means that it divided evenly. So let's put this from the numbers back into normal polynomial. And so we have one less degree now. So this would basically be x cubed minus 2x squared. Oh, I can't do it in here. Okay. Minus 3x plus 6. And so that's what it is. That means that this, if I have x plus 1 times all this stuff here, that will give me the same as the original, polynomial. And now we got lucky, right? So I had 8 different ones to pick from, and I picked one that worked. If I hadn't picked one that worked, well, let's say you think, well, let's say maybe we can divide by -1 instead. And so if I have this my synthetic division again, come on, you're almost there. We can try another number. So maybe we try -1. So that means that this here would be +1. And let's pretend I didn't do the first one at all. Let me just copy this down. All right, so same polynomial, but this time I'm going to try x minus 1. So this right here is actually this one right here. It hates when I want to do arrows. It doesn't want to do an arrow. It hates it. Yay. Okay, so what happens? Well, once again, we bring down the 1. So we have this 1 here. And then 1 times 1 is, of course, 1. So that's going to go right here. So that is 1. And then we add them up and we get 0. And then we multiply 0 by 1 and we get 0. And then we add them up and we get -5. And then we multiply by 1 and we get -5. And then we add them up and we get 2. And then we multiply them and we get 2. And then we add them up and we get 8. And that's not 0. So that one doesn't go evenly. And at this point, beggars can be choosers. I am that picky because I know I can get an integer value. At least I have a hunch that I will. Obviously, there's some where you can't, but I'm telling you that in this one there are integer values. In fact, there's one more. But you would basically just trial and error, see which ones work, which ones don't. I realize it takes a while without Desmos, but at this point, that's all we got. So the good news is once you have one factor, we don't have to do the whole thing. And actually, I didn't have to do that whole thing on that last one either. But all we got to do is just do this part. And so I'm going to do synthetic division on that. And so that's going to give me 1 minus 2. Basically, actually, you don't even have to do this. I can just copy this over. This right here. That's right. Okay, so we have that. And I'm going to divide by x minus 2. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I happen to know that minus 2 works. If you had tried plus 2, it would not have worked. So we bring down the minus 1. Hey, my pen works. Minus 1 times minus 2 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 times minus 2 is negative 8. 3 times... Oh, I screwed up. I was going to try this one. And it's a good thing I made this mistake, as this happens to you too. What that means is I'm actually trying plus 2. So I'm going to bring down minus 1, and I'm going to multiply by 2. So that gives me minus 2. And wait, why is there a negative 1? It's not negative 1. Okay, I got to redo this. I'm sorry, I did that one too quickly. It's been a long week and not a lot of sleep. Okay, so it's actually x cubed, positive x cubed, minus 2x squared. I don't know why I did this so haphazardly. Minus 3x plus 6. Wow. Okay, and so I am dividing by x minus 2, aka the 2. So I have to get rid of this right here. And so that's going to give me this right here. So I bring down the 1, and I multiply by 2. That gives me 2. I add those up. I get 0. 0 times 2 is 0. I add them up. I get minus 3. I multiply by 2. I get minus 6. I add them up, and I get 0, which is a remainder of 0. That's great. So this right here is x squared plus 0x minus 3. So what does that mean? That means I know that x plus 1 works from before. I know now that x minus 2 works. And what I have left is x squared minus 3. I know it was a long walk. And so if I want the solutions where this equals 0, the roots, then my answer is that x equals negative 1, positive 2, square root of 3, and negative square root of 3. Thankfully, there were no unreal answers. Of course, that wouldn't be a problem, but it happened to be all real. Just that some of them are irrational. And so that's how you do it. So let's recap on what the heck we just did. So what are you supposed to do? Well, you take a polynomial, and then you look at this value right here, and you see what are the factors. And so I did that right here. Okay, and I said, hey, here's a list of potential candidates of things that could possibly divide this polynomial, since I have no other better guesses. So let me just do trial and error and try some out. And then I use synthetic division. I started with the minus 1, which is actually from x plus 1, because I'm saying x plus 1 equals 0. So I put a minus 1 here. And then the pattern is the first one you bring it down, no matter what. The second step is to multiply. Okay, this right here is the multiplication. Then you add it up, right? So that is addition. And then you just do those steps over again, right? So this one here is multiplication, and then you add it up again. Okay, so that means we have a 1. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Add them up, you get minus 2. Minus 2 times negative 1. I'm always going back to this number here. Minus 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. multiply by -1, and that gives me +3. Add them up, I get 6. 6 times -1 is -6. Add them up and get 0. And then remember always that you lose 1 degree. So the original was to the 4th power. So this part here is to the 3rd power. And so I have x cubed minus 2x squared minus 3x plus 6x. And then I just keep going like that. And I try another candidate until I'm done. So once I'm at this point right here, I know there's no more integer values because x squared minus 3, I can just solve for that. X squared equals 3, so therefore x is plus or minus root 3. So at that point, I'm done. But the point is, you take the polynomial, you look at this number, you find the factors, you put a list of candidates, you try some of them out using synthetic division. Hopefully, you get lucky and you get a remainder 0 on one of them. So you have to be really good at synthetic division so that you don't make a mistake. And yeah, if it works, you got a 0, you got it. That's a factor. Remember always to make sure you note the signs, that this one right here is actually you putting -1 in synthetic division. That always screws people up. Okay, sorry for the long-windedness. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I just want to make sure that I have something for you guys. Good luck. Good luck on the homework. Get tutoring help. That's my other tip. If this is not good enough, get some tutoring help. All right, thank you guys.